the box within a box within a box. There we go, iPhone 12 mini. Damn, they got that lightest tech tips bath shot. Yo, Jonathan here, happy iPhone 12 day. Today wasn't your typical iPhone event, of course, because one, it took place in October as opposed to September, so 2020 just keeps the weird rolling. And two, with that, because 2020, Apple continued their virtual keynotes, which somehow, I think they leveled up even further. The transitions, the cinematography. Damn, Tim, that was a slick ass transition. The only downside with the virtual event, of course, is no hands-on coverage with the iPhones after the event that the tech world would normally be able to do. I assure you though, coverage on these phones is coming ASAP, so definitely subscribe and feel free to turn on notifications if you don't want to miss that. We did get 4 brand new iPhone 12s today, the iPhone 12 mini, the iPhone 12, the iPhone 12 Pro, and the big boy, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which I will cover thoroughly, but let me know what you're most excited for with a comment down below. Also, got a brand new teeny tiny HomePod Mini, which to me kind of looks like a candle holder, but for that price, at 99 bucks, is definitely more enticing and makes more sense than the regular HomePod, so I am stoked to check it out. Okay, so iPhone 12, we essentially got to look at them as the pros and then the non-pros. The iPhone 12 mini comes in a super adorable 5.4-inch form factor, starts out at $699, so those rumors of a $649 starting price point were wrong. Luckily, it didn't go up though. We then jump up to the larger 6.1-inch iPhone 12, which essentially is the follow-up to last year's iPhone 11, and for the iPhone 12 lineup, we have 5 colors: black, white, product red, green, and blue, which I think I'm all about. The iPhone 12 Pro comes in at the same 6.1 inches as the regular iPhone 12, and of course, we have that biggest boy, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which sizes in at a monstrous 6.7 inches. It is worth noting that all iPhone 12 models, the mini, the regular 12, the 12 Pro, the 12 Pro Max have all adopted that squared off rectangular design, which is kind of a throwback and very similar to what we've seen with the iPad Pro and now the iPad Air, which I really enjoy. The rectangular design is back. I like that color. Sadly though, they did not implement Touch ID that we saw on the new iPad Air into these iPhones, so that was a little bit of a bummer. The good news across all 4 phones is they're all OLED displays, all with a peak brightness of 1200 nits, and specifically the iPhone 12 mini and the iPhone 12, which essentially are the same exact phone, just different form factors. That's a nice bump over last year's iPhone 11. Also gone with those LCDs are 750p panels. So specifically again, with the iPhone 11, 12 mini and the 12, that's a nice jump over last year's 11. The 12 Pro Max, of course, with that 6.7-inch display has the most pixels out of everything here, but in terms of actual display quality, all 4 are stellar. All 4 of these also share that new super fast A14 Bionic chip, 5 nanometers, 4-core GPU, 6-core CPU. So on paper, definitely impressive, but what I'm most excited for is that 16-core neural engine, which I think is the underrated MVP here, especially when it's gonna come to photo and video, and I'm super excited to mess around with this. Aside from the obvious color differences with the iPhone 12 Pro and the iPhone 12 lineup, you're also getting some stainless steel action on the iPhone 12 Pros, which look a little flexier, a little flashier, and definitely more premium than the regular iPhone 12 and 12 mini. All 4 of these are also IP68 certified up to 6 meters now, and all 4 now have a stronger ceramic shield front display. Jerry Rig Everything has entered the chat. From there, addressing the refresh rate elephant in the room, Apple did not implement 120 Hz refresh rates into any of the iPhone 12s. Not the regular lineup, not the Pro, so we are stuck at the 60 Hz that we've seen basically forever. And while I was definitely disappointed, I would have loved to have seen it, I'm not heartbroken. From what we've gathered, the reasons for not opting for 120 Hz was a little bit of production and a lot of bits of the combination of 5G with that 120 Hz panel. And honestly, if I had to decide between 5G and 120 Hz, I would probably go for the higher refresh rate simply because I don't feel like 5G is ready yet, specifically here in the States. Also, can we talk about that for a minute? Verizon and the 5G push was a little bit much. Like they were shoving 5G down our throats.
we're excited to announce that Verizon is turning on...
No! I think 5G is cool. I think it will be a huge deal moving forward yet, but as of now, in 2020, again, it is not quite there yet. With that said though, if you're coming from a phone that's 3, 4, 5 years old and you're planning on keeping this one for a few years, then I could see some potential benefit. But again, 5G, just not quite ready yet. From there, out of nowhere, Apple just kind of whipped out and smacked everybody in the face with MagSafe wireless magnetic charging. Magnetic wireless charging. MagSafe, what? Are you kidding me? Damn, I did not see that coming. That click is satisfying. That also led to a handful of MagSafe accessories, which is going to be opened up to third-party companies as well, so it was definitely unexpected, but a welcome surprise. Now I would say, hands down, the biggest difference between the iPhone 12 and the 12 Pro lineup is going to be the camera system. With the 12 Mini and 12, you have 2 cameras, ultra-wide and wide-angle. With the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, you have 3 cameras, ultra-wide, wide-angle, telephoto, and there's also a LiDAR sensor, which in one instance will give you the ability to take night mode portrait shots, which, yes, please. So while the ability to take night mode portrait shots is limited to the iPhone 12 Pro lineup, all 4 iPhone 12s now have night mode on the ultra-wide angle lens and the front-facing camera, which thank goodness. Night mode is on the iPhone 12. Thank you. Thank you. Now, what I would say is probably the most underrated feature on the iPhone 12 lineup is the ability to capture and record Dolby Vision content, which I get it, it sounds fancy, it sounds unnecessary, but I think what a lot of people are missing is we already consume a ton of Dolby Vision content, whether it's Netflix or Apple TV, and prices with TVs that support that are coming down and down. So what that means in a nutshell is you have the ability to capture 10-bit HDR Dolby Vision footage on a device that fits in your pocket, and then on top of that, the more exciting thing is you can then edit that and output it directly from your phone. I agree. I think Dolby Vision, much like 120 Hertz, is something that you appreciate when you don't have it or you experience, and then you get that taken away. But I think a lot of people with HDR, good HDR or Dolby Vision, especially with it so readily available on Netflix or Apple TV, watch it, they appreciate it, they don't truly know why, but then would notice it if they didn't have it anymore. I messed a little bit with HDR content last year on YouTube, and while I don't think it's quite ready for prime time, it is really exciting. So if this can move that standard forward, and eventually we can get Dolby Vision on our phones on YouTube, that would be incredible. It is worth noting that while Dolby Vision recording is supported on the iPhone 12 Mini and the 12, you are capped at 30 frames per second, whereas with the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, you can do Dolby Vision recording up to 60 frames per second. Now, surprisingly, there actually is a difference between the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max this year, where normally that wasn't the case going to the bigger model, but the 12 Pro Max has a larger sensor, which is going to be better for low light performance, not only for video, but for photos as well. You're also getting better image stabilization on the 12 Pro Max, where it's actually happening on the sensor itself, which looks really exciting. So I'm really excited to check that out and see how that differs from the traditional stabilization in the iPhones, which is already top notch. But definitely, if you're into video and photo, the 12 Pro lineup might be the way to go. Yo, those nighttime shots. You could definitely see the smartphone stabilizer right there, putting a little bit of work. Speaking of that, one more feature that might entice you to opt for the 12 Pro lineup over the regular 12 is Apple's introduction of Pro RAW photos. Essentially, it gives you the control, the flexibility, the power you have with a RAW photo, but then the added benefits of all the computational photography Apple's doing, whether it's portrait mode, smart HDR, deep fusion, you get the best of both worlds, and that is honestly really exciting because before, you had to kind of pick one or the other. Now, the rumors were true. Apple did get rid of the charging brick that comes with the iPhone 12, so that is gone. The good news is you now get a USB-C to Lightning cable. I wanna make that clear. I've seen some back and forth or some people saying that Apple opted to go for USB-C on this iPhone 12, which they didn't. It's still a Lightning port. You just get a USB-C to Lightning cable in the box. So while I think the omission of that charging brick will be criticized, I think the overall move here is a good thing. She's just straight chilling on a building. With the ability to slim things down, Apple is claiming it's the equivalent of removing 450,000 cars worth of carbon impact on the planet, so I personally think it's a good move. I would say the weirdest thing here is going to be the split of the release dates on these phones. So first up is going to be the 12 and the 12 Pro. I guess that makes sense. That's shipping in October because of the same size, the supply, the chain, all of that good stuff. Whereas the Mini, the small guy, and the big boy, the 6.7-inch iPhone 12 Pro Max, those are actually shipping in November, so we'll have to wait for those. Either way though, I am stoked to check these out, so stay tuned for those videos. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did and you are feeling like being awesome, make sure you guys drop a like down below. And side note, for anyone interested in music, dropped a new channel. You guys can check it out. I will definitely be having iPhone 12 related content there as well. See you guys later.